Hi guys, today I'll be discussing the life of the Dutch during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands and its lasting effect after the war and its relation to the novel The Assault by Henry Mulisch. The book starts out in the 5th year of the Nazi occupation in January 1945. In the 5th year, there was a widespread famine and a fuel shortage. During this winter, also known as the Hunger Winter, people tried to conserve wood and coal and took expeditions to the countryside to beg farmers for food in exchange for household items. The Allies in surrounding countries like Sweden helped feed the Netherlanders. The Allies dispensed food parcels by playing with permission from Germany. Sweden supplied white bread by truck in the spring. In the first episode, we are introduced to the Dutch resistance. From the beginning of the occupation in 1940, the Nazi hold on the Netherlands was quite loose. There were strikes and passive protests throughout the entire occupation. Hitler wasn't as strict on the Netherlands with his policies because he wanted the Netherlands to be part of his new Iran nation. He saw them as the same as Germany. The Dutch still recognized their queen and celebrated Queen Wilhelm's Queen Day, which is now King's Day. The resistance formed the National Organization for Aid to Those in Hiding, which supplied ration coupons and forged documents to the prosecuted. Other illegal activities accumulated over the 5 years of occupation, but the Netherlands as a whole didn't really change. The Dutch didn't allow Nazi policies to take much form. Schools, for example, were supposed to be full with Nazi ideology, but the Dutch resisted and they stayed the same. People made fun of Nazism and wrote jokes in the newspaper. The Dutch knew liberation would be coming, they just had to outlast the occupation. At the time of episode 1, southern Netherlands has already been freed along with most of Europe. Episode 2 starts some short time after the liberation. When the Netherlands were liberated, life went pretty much back to normal. Thousands of Dutchmen signed up to fight against Japan in the Netherlands East Indies. The Second World War was only over when Japan was captured in August. At the end of the war crimes were put on trial. Approximately 120,000 Dutch collaborators were put in prison. Their trials continued for several years. In the end, 34 Dutch people were executed. Hundreds of thousands of political prisoners, victims of persecution, and forced labor victims returned to the Netherlands. There were very few reparation facilities set up to retrieve them, and there was very little understanding for the traumatic experience of Jewish survivors and minority survivors. Many members of the resistance became disappointed with post-war politics. Statues were commissioned to those whose life was lost. The Netherlanders looked at the war as a horrible time of the past that no one should have supported. The fascism policies and the communism policies of the Netherlands after the war were pretty straightforward. There was a minority fascist party and a minority communist party, but for the most part, most Dutch people did not support communism or fascism. In the last episode, we learned that the neighbors of Anton were hiding a Jewish family. It's worth saying that there wasn't a strong relationship between Christians and Jews in the Netherlands because So many Jewish people that were prosecuted in other European countries fled to the Netherlands. So you have this new Jewish community that doesn't have any place to hide with Christians. Not many people hid in Christians' households, so it's unlikely for a whole Jewish family to hide with a Christian family.